Right, so I'm going to call this video Sex is Everywhere. Now I'm standing right in the middle of middle class Britain, right by the River Thames. You can probably see in the background the rowers going past. At least you could for a second until my big head was stuck in the way. So here I am standing out here on my own talking to a video camera with a bunch of middle class people walking past, so I'll try and get the words out quickly. Sex is everywhere. So, you know, I do and talk about natural game. So that means an absence of routines, it means putting your real personality out there and all that kind of thing in the optimal way. But I also see it as realising that women are just as, if not more, naughty than men are, you know, and that there is a whole vista out there, there's a whole world out there of sex that most guys never even realise exists, you know. Now when I say most guys, I mean guys in countries typically like the UK and the USA. I've obviously lived in the UK and spent a lot of time in the USA. And, you know, guys don't do this daytime stuff. And when I started doing it, and this was like 8 years ago, and this was like on trains on the way home, you know, I've mentioned this on my website, that I used to, you know, on the way home from work, I would go and talk to women on trains. And it was a 40-minute journey, it was a pretty short journey, and you know, in that journey I wanted to learn game and I wanted to get better, and I ended up sleeping with some of these girls on the way home, you know, very, very quickly. So 40 minutes in the toilet, Bob's your uncle, and I did that on the way home, you know. And then I started doing some daytime stuff, and pretty quickly, you know, took women to bed from the daytime. And it blew my mind, you know. I didn't realise that this reality out there existed. So you go out and start doing this stuff. You may or may not get really fast results, who knows, you know. But you start to see the world through different eyes. And that is a big part of what this stuff is about, you know. It's about reality shifts, if you like. So I believe that there's an outside world out there that's happening in real time, you know. Objects unsupported fall towards the centre of the earth. You are a solid object, no other solid object can occupy that same point simultaneously, right? Those are facts. But the world that you see and the world that occurs to you is filtered through your perceptual filters, which is based on your opinions, reference experiences, beliefs and all that kind of thing. You go out there and just put yourself out there and try this stuff and do all the other stuff that's out there in the public domain, you know, improve your aesthetic, confidence, stand in a particular way, you know, all that kind of stuff. Just go out there and do it. And it blows your mind, you know, it blows your mind what's out there and the extent to which you can go out and well, you can go out and get laid, basically, you know, in any environment. Now, in terms of daytime stuff and you know, meeting girls and sleeping with them on the same day, there's a couple of big things that are important, not really anything to do with game either. One is logistics, okay? Daytime stuff. Now, obviously, logistics on a train, most people wouldn't think of that, but it's actually pretty good. Think about it. You can go in a toilet and away you go. Now, I wouldn't do this stuff anymore in toilets, by the way. This is what I used to be like. I just don't do that anymore. But you got a toilet, so you can do that on a train. Daytime, you know, like if you live in a small town and people know you and they see you habitually day in, day out, then I'm not saying go out and try and, you know, take girls home to your mum's house if you live in a small village. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is if you've got a larger city close by, which is what I used to do when I was growing up, when I was 19 or so, nobody would want to come out with me, so I used to get on my own to the nearest big city, which was Birmingham. Do that, you know, break the cycle of what you're used to, and you get a liberating feeling from that. You know, there's no surprise when you go on holiday, you might get better results. Women feel different when they're on holiday. They're more likely to sleep with guys. They might get a bit more, let's say, slutty, you know. I don't like to use that word, but they change when they're on holiday, right? It's a similar thing for you. So get yourself down to the nearest big city. If you're in the Midlands, go to London. If you're in London, on the outskirts, go into the centre, rent a cheap room and get out there over a weekend and go out and bloody do this stuff, you know? It's the single biggest thing that you can do virtually immediately, alongside improving your aesthetic and all that kind of thing. So go out there and have these reality shifts and realise that sex is everywhere. Now all I would say on top of this is, yes, you do all the stuff in the background and you improve yourself as much as you can, but when you go up and talk to a woman, they're judging you on things that you don't think about. In your masculine mind, you think you've got to perform well and you've got to do this great game and all that. It's utter bollocks, you know. You can go up and you can have a car crash of an interaction. A nice blonde girl just went past and gave me the eye, you know. Yeah, there she is. And you can still get the result. And then reflect on it afterwards. There you go.